Is right. It's the same 4 teams we had 3 weeks ago, but now it's win or go home time. So it is now the winning 2 teams tonight will play in the championship in 3 weeks again. So we are looking forward to that. Fantastic to be here this evening. I am, unfortunately, Clofton P. Grudge. The extra R is, however, as always, for ribs. And joining me is...
Sookie Talking Smackhouse.
Hey, we got Sookie. Sookie's here. I'm a Bill Compton, and Sookie's here.
Anyway, and once again, welcome to the Hall of Dames. It gets no better from here. Just put in your earplugs now. Meanwhile, down on the track, what you see in front of you is the Runaway Brides versus the Brutal Beauties. This is our 1-4 matchup. Runaway Brides ended the season on top, and the Brutal Beauties in as the 4 seed. Later on, of course, you're going to be seeing the Bombshells versus the Coffin Draggers. That's our 2-3 matchup. So that'll be later on. Before we begin and get to our regulator introductions, you've seen they already performed our skater safety checks, and we'll introduce our regulators to you here momentarily along with our medic crew. A couple of ground rules for you. First, let's get a show of hands. Who's here at the arena for the very first time? Who is at one of our bouts for the first time? Is there anybody? Anybody? We got all, maybe a couple, maybe. I was going to say interesting kind of to see. We had a lot of first-time people the last bout. However, we wanted to let you know a couple of our ground rules. As always, so if you've been here before, you've heard them, so follow them. First of all, no whistling from the stands. Please, no whistling from the stands. It easily interrupts the game. Skaters are trained to stop when they hear the whistle, and whistling from the stands can be very disruptive. Secondly, skaters get priority in line for the bathrooms. If there is a line for the 4 total restrooms that we have access to, skaters do get to jump the line so they can get back out on the track. And finally, stay behind that yellow line on the ground. That yellow line keeps you out of way of errant skates and elbow pads and helmets coming off the track. We've had 2 skaters come off the track this year, so we mean it. Stay behind the yellow line. We get closer to game time here. It looks like we've been joined by the live stream, so I'd love to say hello to Twitchland. Hello, Twitchland. There's probably nobody ready to chat yet because my phone just blinked at me that it started. So, anyhow, this time, Sookie Talking Smackhouse and I would love to introduce you to. There's a team out there we literally could not do this without, because without them, we would be facing complete anarchy and lawlessness. They're the ones out there wearing the stripes and dressed in all black. That's the regulators. And they keep things on the track safe for us at all times and make sure the action continues safely. We'll introduce them to you right now. We have, as head referee with that white helmet cap on, that's Lollipop.
Game executioner is GG.
We've got front pack ref is Infidel Castro.
Backpack ref is Bender B. Rodriguez.
We've got jam referee is Ref Boy RD.
And the eye in the sky is Freya Hugs.
Your other jam referee is Chasen Voorhees.
Another eye in the sky. Another eye in the sky is Lumbra de la Luna.
We've got on outside pack ref Meryl Streak.
Outside pack ref is Mama Seidel.
Penalty tracker Yazzle Dazzle. Penalty tracker assist was Gigi, so we'll skip that one. We had Gigi moved over to another spot.
Penalty box for home is Rosie the Ripper.
Penalty box for visitors is Lucifer.
Whiteboard is Baby Bat.
Scoreboard is Retromancer.
And we've got Rainbow Crash as the runner.
That is indeed correct. So give some love to the regulators because they're probably not going to get it from many other people this evening. My goodness. Oh, thank you. Rainbow Crash has gone from rudder to PTA. Thank you, Bender. We appreciate it. You know, ain't it just like a regulator to make sure we come up here and get everything straight? You know, Bender would not let anything go. I mean, if anybody. Anyway,
absolutely.
That's our regulators.
Keep us in line too.
We thank them very well. And also, I want to acknowledge down on the infield also our volunteer medics. I can see Nacho Mama. Hi, Nacho. And then who's sitting across from you? I cannot tell who that is. I apologize. Oh, is that Mads? Riley, thank you. I appreciate it. Usually I just name them off, but then the other night Mads was facing away and I couldn't tell who Mads was like from the back of the head. Nope, thank you very much. Again, our volunteer medics. Let's try that again. That's Nacho Mama and Riley. Nacho Mama, number 66, one of our former previous skaters in the league, and our volunteer medics out there. They keep us legal, like legal, not just like regulators, like rules legal, but we have to have our medics out there since it's a contact sport. So we always say, we certainly hope that our medics just get a front row seat to 4 hours of roller derby and really never have to get up. So, but if they are called into action, they do a fantastic job for us. And once again, keep us within, the law. Our Derby fans, we got I'd say about 2 minutes until team intros at this point. We'll pick that up here momentarily. Wanted to let you know, for those here in the arena, our food truck option this evening is Detroit's original Coney truck. So that is going to be fantastic. If you're not familiar, a Coney is I say basically, that's kind of underselling it, but a Coney is a chili cheese hot dog, but it's got different chili. That's what makes it a Detroit Coney. Anyway, they have that and other fantastic food as well. I was just reading it. Let me see. There we go. Yep. Just says Coney's. Well, I know they have Coney fries, too, and those are fantastic. So that'll be outside this evening. Great time to visit that halftime, and also we have a 30-minute intermission between bouts. All right. Derby fans, who's ready for some roller derby? It's my pleasure to welcome you to the official roster introductions for this year's first playoff bout, our semifinals between the Runaway Brides and the Brutal Beauties. And I'm going to toss it over to Sookie Talkin' Smackhouse to bring you. One second. There we are. Okay. One moment. And Retro's taking a look at this for me.
All right, first up on the track is a team that is going to run away with your hearts. The Runaway Brides.
Runaway Brides coming around. We have to explain the delay is that the teams usually get intro music, but unfortunately this laptop decided to no longer be connected to the internet, so we apologize for not having the Brides theme music. And now back to Suki for your Brides lineup.
Starting off for the Brides, we've got D20, D and D's Nuts. 070, Invader Slim. Number 95, oops, we're going to wait on number 95. 151, Ash Smash'em. 300, Dolly Spartan. 420, as in the date, Astrothought. 487, Tequila. Number 623, Hollyhood. 626, Remy Ruckus. 772, Al Annihilate-Ya. 1981, Sandra Slay O'Connor. 00, Nova Kane is your co-captain. And we've got number 95, Lightning McQueen, your captain. The coaches for the Runaway Brides is Troy McClure and Nikki Badass.
Now taking the track, it's the Brutal Beauties. Brutal Beauties are going to head around here. Around the track. I'm trying to fix the laptop, but unfortunately this is going to be just me giving you the intros for the Brutal Beauties. Here we go. Wearing pink tonight for the Brutal Beauties. Number 12, Maximum Overdrive. Number 17, Bitch Please. Number 19, The Kitchuation. Number 22, Mimi Muller. Number 41, Joliet Jane. Number 52, Gnarly Quinn. Number 11-4, Slappy Go Lucky. Number 73, Shirls. Number 226, Honey Trap. Number 824, Venus Vendetta. Your co-captain number 925, Evil Twin. Captain of the Brutal Beauties number 011, Skeletori. Your coaches on the bench, Princess Leia and Phoenix. All right, good news, everybody. There is house music. The laptop has rediscovered the internet. The laptop, I'm sorry, let me shut that off for a second. I started talking to Volty when she walked up here. Oop. All right, we are just about ready to go. Ready to get started here. That is your whistle for the first jam. So we are going to start with your captain of the Brutal Beauties. That's Skeletori.
And we've got number 300, Dolly Spartan for the Brides.
All right, playoff derby is underway. Dolly Spartan down to the inside. Now knocked off right down there. Skeletori, Dolly Spartan both to the front. There goes Dolly. Dolly's your first lead jammer. Tori out as well. And on with the pursuit. So we got both jammers out in the first jam.
Both are coming around to look for some points here, and we get the whistle. Gets called off.
Dolly ran up into a defensive wall at the back of the pack of Brutal Beauties. We're checking here. That's 2 points for the Runaway Brides, getting things started. And we already have and only because I know that this is on the bingo card, a PPP Power Jam. Because announcers don't like to do P's because they pop. This is going to be a Power Jam for the Brutal Beauties. Let's hear it from the Beauties fans. This is the earliest you could ever have a Power Jam in a bank track bout, is the second one.
And it looks like Evil Twin is going to be the jammer for this one.
That's right. Also, Evil Twin's going to be the jammer for this one. Meanwhile, down to the inside, I heard one person laugh. Evil Twin there again, trying to, oh, wow, what a hit. Lightning the Queen, bringing a strong sort of back of the shoulder to bear on Evil Twin. Knocked out again, and then now there's a block down along the inside. That'd be Mimi Mahler wearing the pivot stripe for the Brutal Beauties, and then they're doing battle against Lightning the Queen.
The Brides are definitely known for their defensive prowess, so it is no surprise that Evil Twin is coming up with some opposition here. But Twin's not giving up, still pushing. There's still time.
Yeah, they formed a tripod there at the front of the pack. You got Holly Hood, you got Al Annihilation, and Lightning the Queen, which is a rather fearsome lineup. And their Twins trying to dance by and is able to get by Hood, kind of goaded Hood into coming down off the track, and so Twin gets waved on by. But, I was going to say, not to spoil it, but Runaway Brides defense does its job and prevents any points on the Power Jam.
It takes a lot of energy to get
That
through all
really
of that.
does. That is a defensive stand early in this bout for sure. So now it's the third jam, and it's the same jammer for the Runaway Brides, Dolly Spartan.
And it looks like that's Bitch Please, if I'm not mistaken, for the Beauties.
I would agree with that. Luckily, it's right. Ha. Meanwhile, there goes Bitch Please. Oh, both jammers out. Dolly Spartan out.
Oh, jammer race. Look at that.
Yeah, this is a jammer race. Bitch Please is going to get in and try to, holds to the inside. Dolly quite fleet of skate. Bitch Please keeping up. Now the pack is going to try to play keep away. And a big block there. Lightning the Queen knocking down at the back of the pack. The Kituation, which gets, let's check the score. One would think it is 1 point plus the ghost point. So, 2 more for the Runaway Brides, 4-0 in the very early going.
And we've got 623 Holly Hood on the line for the Brides.
Jamming for the Beauties, 11-4, Slappy Go Lucky.
Both jammers trying to push through there, getting a little bit of opposition. Holly Hood is in the lead there.
And Hood gets out along the inside. Hood is your lead jammer for the Brides. Slappy is able to get past Novocaine on the rail as well, and so Slappy's out. Hood gets blocked off the track and just able to get back up and reestablish to call off the jam. You've got to get back up on the track, get those all 8 skates down, and then you can call it off. And was just able to do so, it would appear. Let's check here and see if it was. No, 1 point on the pursuit for the Brutal Beauties. Brutal Beauties at the back end, and that is why you skate through the whistle, kids. Finish your blocks, run out you grounders, and skate through the whistle.
And we've got Skeletori, number 011, or excuse me, 011, not 01111.
Yes. That's Dolly Spartan for the Runaway Brides once again, and Dolly Spartan is out. Skeletori is weaving mid-pack, trying to get a block from the Kituation and looking for an opening.
Dolly's coming around pretty quick, though, looking to gain some more points for the Brides.
Joliet Jane is mid-pack and is taking over as jammer now for the Brutal Beauties, and is now going to help call out defensive assignments here, along with Skeletori. Joliet Jane trying to get in the way. Dolly Spartan knocked off. Excellent block down there in the corner. by that member of the Brutal Beauties. Trying to see who that is. That's Gnarly Quinn down there with a good block. Wanted to give credit where credit was due. 6 seconds left on the jam clock. I said, both jammers, neither of whom with a star in their head, were playing defense for the Brutal Beauties. And it's 9 points that time for the Runaway Brides. So the Runaway Brides, a large offensive output after 4 rather slow-scoring jams to start the game off. Yeah, very much so.
Let's see if the Beauties can come back and gain a few here. I see we got 1981, Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Brides, but I can't see just who we got for. Oh, we got Evil Twin.
Evil Twin, number 925. And Twins trying to stay upright and trying to run and gets through, staying, trying to stay up. It would appear to be good. I was going to say.
Beauties are forming a little bit of a wall back there to hold Sandy back. Evil Twins coming around for some points.
So this is the first time that the Brutal Beauties have taken lead jam, other than the power jam. Twins trying to stay on the track. Blockers coming off. Big block there. And it's called off. Twin was mid-pack. There it is. Twin gets all 4 of the points, so Twin called it off. You'll see that often skaters, you'll sometimes see a skater call it off and think, well, they're in the middle of the pack, but they often know who they've passed. They keep track of that.
Absolutely. And they know who's coming up behind them, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all part of it.
So once again, Dolly Spartan on the jammer line for the Runaway Brides.
And Bitch Please, if I'm not mistaken, for the Beauties. Bitch Please got knocked off onto the infield there, but is back on the track, looking to weave their way through. Dolly also doing the same there. There's a wall of pink, though, in front of her.
Now Bitch Please up to the high side. Lightning the Queen is waiting. Lightning delivers the shoulder. So now Dolly's way at the back of the pack, though, trying to get around Venus Vendetta. The 2 of them are actually teammates on the Schoolyard Scrappers. And both subbing for different teams tonight to fill the rosters. Big hit down along the front straightaway. Bitch Please knocked off. They were trying to do a star pass, asked to put it back on.
And Dolly's out and coming around.
And Dolly eventually did get out. Bitch Please knocked off again, Lightning the Queen in there with the defensive stop. And now Dolly through the pack. Bitch Please was trying to call it off. Dolly calls it off getting through the pack. So it ended up being 5 points for the Runaway Brides. All 4 plus the jammer point, so it's 20-5, about halfway through the first quarter. We've got Hollywood for the Runaway Brides.
And we've got Slappy Go Lucky for the Beauties.
And there goes Slappy around the outside, taken off. Collision at the back of the pack, and it's going to be a jammer race. Slappy Go Lucky. Hollywood really put the arms into it coming down into that corner, and I thought Slappy Go Lucky was I'm going to think that Slappy was at least considering it, and then at the extreme excited exhortation of the Brutal Beauties bench, called it off in the front straightaway. But Hollywood,
that was a better to be safe than sorry moment there.
Yes, people new to the league, Hollywood is one of our fleetest skaters. Now for the Brides is going to be Invader Slim for the first time, number 070.
And we've got Skeletori for the Beauties. Both jammers trying to push through here.
Slim is trying to push at the front of the pack, but has run into a 4-wall of blockers for the Brutal Beauties. Lightning the Queen's kind of marooned in front of them, and now Lightning signals for it and takes the star. We've got our first star pass. Lightning the Queen takes over as jammer for the Runaway Brides.
And a really successful star pass at that.
Well, yeah, we had an attempted one, I would say. First deployed one. That's what it was. I had to get it right. Lightning the Queen mid-pack. Tries to swing around hips first and get in front of a couple of skaters and calls it off with Skeletori hot in pursuit.
And it looks like we got Hollywood back on the line for the Brides.
And it'll be Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties. That ended up being 3 points for the Brides. Coming up on jam number 10, coming up on 5.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Relatively low scoring right now, too.
Yeah,
which
so
is
far,
exciting.
quick action, definitely quick action and low scoring, too. So a lot of jammers both
And
getting out.
Skeletori's out.
And saying that, well, almost. Holly Hood almost got out and tried to pirouette and could not quite stay on the inside and came off the coping. So Evil Twins out alone. Holly Hood not yet out. Now finds an opening around the outside. Remy Ruckus lets Holly Hood go and then blocks Shirley Temple
Evil
of
Twin.
Doom. Meanwhile, here comes Evil Twin with a coping jump, trying to get by Al Annihilation and is able to do so. Nice little jump in the turn.
was
I
just
think
gonna
that's on
say
the
that,
bingo
yep.
card, isn't it? That's right. We haven't really had a chance to, with no timeouts yet, so we haven't talked about it much. But don't forget those bingo cards down by the merch table. We'll give a more thorough explanation momentarily, but you could be checking off things like PPPP Power Jam and Apex Jump and things like that. We'll even give you those two for free if you run down there and get one real quick. Meanwhile, 4:30 to go in the first quarter. It's Dolly Spartan once again for the Brides.
And Bitch Please again for the Beauties. We're seeing a lot of repeat jammers up here.
We are.
It's
So,
playoffs.
Yeah, it is
So-
playoffs. You were going to get the hot hands out there. Dolly Spartan has gotten out several times first already, so Dolly is going to keep getting the call pretty much, looks like every other jam for the Brides. Meanwhile, there's Gnarly Quinn calling out some instructions you probably heard over the mic. That is Dolly Spartan coasting through now, just kind of weaves through, finds an opening, just gently skated through there. Meanwhile, let's check back in the pack, and we've got Bitch Please now going to try to play jammer defense, but gets blocked out at the back of the pack by Ash Smash'em. Now here comes Dolly Spartan looking for an opening, waits for it and gets it. Kind of waited for that. Situation was recycling at the front of the pack, and Dolly said, go ahead. Went on through along the inside. So 4 seconds left. Dolly again up to the front of the pack, and the clock expires just before Dolly calls it off. All right, it's a 15-point power jam for the Runaway Brides, leading us into a timeout. It's an official timeout. It's our first timeout. We've torn right through the first 12 minutes of this bout.
And I think that's on the bingo card, too, is the official timeout.
That's
so
right.
Check that out.
Check off your OTO. Fantastic. Yeah. So, regulator's going to take a moment to talk this one over down here along the infield. So, we'd like to let you know about some of our sponsors and sort of things along those lines. So, first of all, we'll tell you about the merch booth. The merch booth is where you can get yourself league and team merchandise. We've got all sorts of fantastic stuff. Brand new t-shirt designs from your favorite teams. We've got discounted merch. There's a new league shirt. And that's where you get your bingo cards to play bingo. If you get a bingo on that card, you get to go down and spin the prize wheel at the raffle table. So that is fantastic and fun and wonderful. So that's all down at the merch booth.
We've also got Lost Dutchman Tattoo as one of our sponsors, specializing in various styles from realism to traditional. You can also customize your own tattoo, and walk-ins are accepted. The shop's located at 4121 North 19th Avenue, the east side of 19th Avenue, north of Indian School Road. And just in time, we're back.
Way to hit the post, Sookie. Like a pro DJ. All hits, all. Yes, that is correct. We've got two more teammates. Sandra Slay O'Connor helpfully pointing out that Slappy and Sandy also both play for the Scrappers. So you see a lot of the Scrappers and Valkyries helping to fill these rosters tonight. Meanwhile, there goes Slappy again. Slappy, second time Slappy in a row has taken lead jam. Now Sandy out as well with big strides coming out of the pack. I like how Sandy puts that height to good use coming out of the pack like that.
Absolutely.
I've always big long strides.
There's a definite advantage to that.
And here comes Slappy, a skater who I've get blocked up into the rail, trying to find an opening, and calls it off. But we'll see if I think Sandy
might have gotten
Sandy
one
wants
or two.
points.
Yeah.
Check it out. Sandy did. Sandy got 2 points.
There you go.
We're going to check it out here. Slappy gets all 4 for that scoring pass.
And on the line, we've got 011 Skeletori and Dolly Spartan for the Brides.
Everybody's settling in, and not quite. There we go. Yep.
Oh, we've got some interesting slow jammer action happening
That's right.
here.
Everybody get ready for a slow jam.
Very tight pack, very slow jammers. This is all part of strategy.
That's right. And then you see somebody break free like Skeletori. So Skeletori blinks first. Dolly Spartan hemmed at the back of the pack, so error so far. It looks like it was a good move, and Tori's able to take a run and go. So Dolly Spartan now is just going to, Dolly just pushes past a blocker. That was Joliet Jane, and Dolly literally just used her right arm to haul herself past JJ. My goodness. Yeah, the skaters don't just have strong legs. Like, they're strong. They're all strong.
Oh, absolutely.
Skeletori down to the inside, gets knocked off to the inside on the hands and knees and is not able to call it off. So Dolly Spartan blasting through and is now lead jammer. So Skeletori's going to finish the scoring pass. So they're both have scoring passes, and Dolly Spartan now is going to go for the net positive and try to get a second scoring pass. But the clock expires, so
one scoring pass for each.
I was going to say, we'll have to see. I'm going to say it should be.
Let's see how right I was on that one.
That is correct. 5-4. Yep, there you go. So 5-4. Excellent balance jam for both teams. Evil Twin once again for the Brutal Beauties.
And Holly Hood for the Brides. Do we have any Brides fans?
Oh,
in
there's
the crowd?
Brides fans.
Let's
yeah.
hear it.
Well, Black Eyed Please is here, so I know there's at least one Brides fan in the audience. There. Yeah, I got you. I got you, Mary. Meanwhile, Holly Hood gets out once again.
But it's a jammer
Brutal
race.
Beauties right there, and we've got another jammer race. Holly Hood is really going to get some speed going. Look at that, using those physics on the bank to really hem in and try to stay on the track, slides in and calls it off. You know, so far, Suki, I've got to say, my observation so far, it seems like the Beauties are getting out is just a little behind the Brides. Like, sometimes you see when a team is having trouble, like, getting their jammer out at all. And that's not the case here. It's just the Brides are getting there a second faster, and they're getting there 4-3 and calling it off.
Yeah, absolutely. The Beauties are definitely getting out.
And now stepping back up to the jammer line is Holly Hood. This is our first Runaway Brides Power Jam. That's Holly Hood on the jammer line, right back out there. Ought to be good and warmed up. Just got done with a full 60-second jam that included I guess that was a little
wasting
shorter.
no time whatsoever.
Out as well. So now Holly Hood getting into.
Looks like the Beauties are trying to grab some strategy, make a wall here, kind of keep Hood back, but
and Holly
doesn't
Hood
look like it quite happened.
Holly Hood clinging to the inside. They tried to run Holly Hood out of room, and Holly Hood's able to find room anyway. Quarter clock has expired, so this will be the last jam of the first quarter. Here comes Hood again. And they try to run that wall of defenders down for the Brides, but Hood gets by along the outside. The Beauties were able to
slow them down a little bit.
Yeah, slow her down for just maybe look at the clock. The goal would be to eliminate at least one scoring pass.
Absolutely. But slowing him down is also good.
Yep, and there we go now, again at the front of the pack. So Holly Hood gets up and calls it off, knowing that there would be no final scoring pass able.
Oh, do we have another jam?
We do not. Heading into the quarter break momentarily, and the last jam of the first quarter, that was a power jam for the Runaway Brides. 15 big points for the Brides once again. So the Brides, 64 points, 30 of which have come on 2 power jams. So they have made hay while the sun is shining, as people in the Midwest We are back to the action by the sound of that whistle. Once again, here at the start of the second quarter, Runaway Bride 64, Brutal Beauties 17. Welcome back to the 2024 Arizona Derby Dames playoffs. At the jammer line is Skeletori for the Brutal Beauties.
And once again, Dolly Spartan for the Brides, number 300. Again, a really tight pack. Both jammers are trying to get out.
And racing around the outside goes Skeletori, able to outrun to the point there and get around the pivot, lightning the queen. Dolly's still not out at the back of the pack.
Which is unusual.
Yeah, I was going to say, so far Dolly's had really great success getting clear. So here comes Skeletori. Dolly is actually going to try to throw some defense and then try to use that opportunity to get clear, and does. So Dolly's going to try to cap this at one scoring attempt for Skeletori. Tori is trying to get in front of that last skater and then calls it off. So check and make sure. And Tori does. Tori gets all four on that scoring pass.
And we've got Holly Hood on the line for the Brides.
It's Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties.
You got to give some love for these jammers. They're doing some hard duty tonight.
Yeah, that's a very, very, very tightly bound rotation of jammers for both teams. And, of course, you know, honestly, you give love to the blockers, too. I love calling out good blocks. They're in there getting knocked around just as hard.
And speaking of tightly bound, look how tight that pack is.
That's right. And, Evil Twin gets around and comes off the track. Excellent clipping block there by Sandra Slay O'Connor. Like, even when the skater gets by, you can still get a knee out and get him by the knee. So excellent defensive play by Sandra Slay O'Connor. And completely changed the complexion of that jam, because Evil Twin was on her way to being clear, and instead Holly Hood got out. And now Holly Hood's coming around for a second scoring pass with 22 seconds left on the jam clock.
Evil Twin looks like they're going to play some defense here.
Tried to. Remy Ruckus wise to it. It's become a personal job.
Oh,
for
no,
Remy
one of the
Ruckus at
regulars
back
got
of the pack.
taken out.
Several people down on the infield. And make sure it looks like everybody's all right. Ref Boy RD gets up. And he delivers the score. There you go. All right, so it's 10 points for the Runaway Brides there, a full 10. All right, at the jammer line for the first time for the Runaway Brides this evening is Astro Thought.
And we've got Bitch Please again for the Beauties.
So now down to the inside, both jammers trip over the same fallen skater and fall to the infield as they were following each other. So now at the front of the pack, Bitch Please, again, skaters down. Astro Thought and Bitch Please almost run into each other one more time. Now trying, Bitch Please from the back of the pack finds an opening and gets by. Out and clear. Astro Thought now trying to get by, ducking to the inside of a skater, back to the outside again, just ricocheting off
Beauties
the
are doing
situation.
some nice defense here.
I was going to say the situation there was up to the task. Bitch Please around the outside, and now finishes that scoring pass. To a cheer from the Beauties contingent in the crowd. And there another big block, skater down to the back of the pack. Brides now, they've got the stars stashed. I honestly don't know if it's been passed. It has not.
Well, looks like Astro Thought's
It's
joined
stashed.
defense here.
Yep. Astro Thought still hanging on to it. Bitch Please now is going to try to get by, try to finish the second scoring pass, and is trying to get by that last skater. We'll have to wait and see. There was a collision there at one point during that jam. We'll check the score here. We'll get that on the board, and then I'll say what I was going to say. 9 points for the Brutal Beauties. Brutal Beauties' best jam of the bout so far. And looks like we're going to have another power jam. However, for the Runaway Brides, it's going to be Holly Hood. But first, we're going to have a timeout. It is going to be a challenge by the Runaway Brides. All right, Runaway Brides will take a challenge, so we'll get to them. A handful more of these sponsor reads, obviously. Challenge process. You see the regulators gathering at the back straightaway there, so if they need to, they'll pull the GoPro footage and review, and we'll get back to you momentarily on that. Meanwhile, I wanted to mention, what I was going to say was that, you know, we talk a lot about Derby being all shapes and sizes. You know, tall, small, a wide body jet, thin Cessna, you know, I don't know, whatever you want to say. Like, anybody can play Derby, right? But boy, there are some times when it is just refreshing to see a very large skater crash into a very large skater and both of them kind of just go, okay. And that was Astro Thought ran squarely into the back of the Kitchuation, and so spoiler alert, I know Kitch really well. We were friends before I started coming to Derby. It's part of the reason I started coming was to watch Kitch and Gingersaurus Rex skate, and Colette Razorcat was also at my first bout. Anyhow, as I know that Kitch is also a very powerful, tall, and a stout-bodied person as well. So yeah, Astro Thought came with a head of steam, and they collided, and it just went. So it just.
And they both skate away.
Yeah, and they both just kept going. It really is, yeah. Sometimes the physical things that happen out on the track are just nuts.
Absolutely, and we are seeing our share of falling bodies tonight,
Yeah,
which
a lot
means
of physicality
everybody's in it.
as you would expect in the playoffs. We'll get you a couple more of our sponsor reads like Copper Star Coffee. Copper Star Coffee is a locally owned coffee shop and cafe. They provide hand-blended drinks and award-winning baked goods. It is fantastic. Man, if you want a light lunch early in the morning, like if it's 10 o'clock and you're a little peckish, get the caprese sandwich. It is amazing, and it's delicious. Anyway, sorry, I got thinking about food. Visit them on the southwest corner of 7th Avenue in Heatherbrae, that is just north of Indian School Road, for delicious coffee, tea, muffins, and their incredible homemade bagels every day. It's Copper Star Coffee. Tell Bill Sandweg there that you heard about it at Roller Derby, and you won't get a discount, but you'll get a smile. Bill, good friend of the league. Bill's wife, Beverly Kills, skated with us for a few seasons, and then his daughter, Amelia Derhart, was one of our national championship minor assaults winners.
Nice.
So, yeah, whole family affair. But, yeah, Bill's been a several year sponsor of the league.
Well, and speaking about food, be sure to visit the Arizona Derby Dames snack bar. There's a cold beverage or snack waiting for you, and all proceeds go back to the league. And your support is obviously greatly appreciated, so check them out.
Another of our sponsors, another of our surfers, another of our sponsors has a large. Take 3. Sidewalk Surfer has a large selection of roller skates and skate accessories. They build custom skates and service all brands of skates. They're open 10 to 8 Monday to Saturday, 10 to 6 on Sundays. They're at 2602 North Scottsdale Road. That's the west side of Scottsdale Road, just north of Oak Street. And don't forget, they service skates. They service skateboards, honestly, as well. All right, we have the verdict. We'll bring it to you momentarily. And once the captains are fully advised, captains always prefer to get that before everybody else. So, meanwhile, down the infield, everybody's getting fanned. It gets a little toasty on the infield here. It's sort of like the valley. They're basically in a valley, and it's like a little heat sink in there. So, all right. So the challenge was unsuccessful. We had a cut track penalty on the jammer for the Brutal Beauties. As we expected, it was a jammer penalty. So this will be a power jam for the Runaway Brides, and I have no reason not to believe it'll be Hollywood. It is, in fact, Hollywood. I am a soothsayer. Meanwhile, Brutal Beauties are facing a challenge here with only 2 defenders out there. There's 3 blockers for the Runaway Brides, a very small pack, and a very fast skater in Hollywood. So the Runaway Brides are really just trying to outrun and try to keep from getting split up.
Absolutely, and look how fast the Beauties are going.
So far they're moving. Mimi Mahler tries to block Hollywood, and boy, that was a really good blocker and a really good jammer, and Hollywood came out on top that time, but that was nothing assured there. I held my tongue for a second to watch that. But yeah, Hollywood gets the better of it. Mimi was through a technically perfect block, and Hollywood's just a technically perfect jammer.
Yes.
Hood now at the front of the pack, and this time Mimi gets Hood pushed off. That's what she was trying to do before, was use the elbow to get Hollywood pushed to the infield. Meanwhile, at the back of the pack, they've got Evil Twin panned up. Mimi Mahler at the front of the pack finally just gets pushed out of play. Had to stop blocking because of the rules. So
really nice job, though, by Mimi Mahler.
Mimi Mahler at the front of the pack. Once again, now everybody's kind of together. They're holding up those 2. And now there goes Hollywood. Wow,
and
Hollywood.
That was a jump.
Hollywood with the exclamation point on the jam. Big old coping jump down there in the corner to get by Mimi Mahler.
If you're going to do it, make it pretty.
So it ends up being, once again, another 15-point power jam for the Brides. That was an interesting one to watch. That could have easily been a 20-25, and that effort by Mimi Mahler with Evil Twin trying to keep the back in play, that was an excellent effort for Mimi Mahler that quite literally saved 5 points at least, if not 10.
Yeah, they were definitely at a disadvantage there.
Meanwhile, on this jam, we're looking at 89-30 with the Brides on top.
Looks like we've got
I was going to say a Skeletori for the Beauties, who is just getting knocked off the track.
And Dolly Spartan for the Brides, who's out and ready to score some points.
Skeletori now running to the outside and taking off. Couple of skaters deep on the infield. I heard somebody hit a kick plate. Now Dolly Spartan just too quick. Just too quick. Came up on Joliet Jane and JJ barely leaned to the inside and Dolly blasted by on the outside. I like getting a straight-on shot like that when you can see somebody's face. And, yeah, Dolly, that was so fast. So, meanwhile, it's a 4-point jam for the Runaway Brides. 9 minutes to go until halftime.
Oh, well, we've got rival teammates again. Sandra Slay
right.
O'Connor and Slappy Go Lucky.
Both of them kind of mid-pack. Sandy's trying to find an opening on the inside. Slappy to the outside. Slappy quietly, but not able to escape the gaze of that tripod at the front of the pack for the Runaway Brides. Meanwhile, Sandy is knocked off at the back of the pack.
That's a heck of a wall right there.
It is an impressive wall, but Slappy gets out as the blockers were out of play. So Slappy once again is out for the Brutal Beauties.
Pack's a little scattered, but you can see some talking going on there to see what they're going to do.
Yeah, I was going to say I currently don't see where we got there. Nobody's wearing a star for the Brides at the moment. So, oh, there they are down on the inside. Sandy still is. And they're at the back of the pack getting up. Al's getting back up on the track. All right, we're checking on the score. 4 points for the Beauties there. So we got 93-34 at the moment with 7:30 to go in the second quarter. And it's going to be Dolly Spartan once again for the Runaway Brides back here on the jammer line.
And Bitch Please for the Beauties.
At the front of the pack and able to duck to the inside. It looks like those last two blockers may have just been out of play again. And Bitch Please is out for the Brutal Beauties.
Dolly's uncharacteristically stuck in the pack there.
Yeah, Dolly's had really good success jamming nearly every other jam for the Brides. Now to the inside. And
Bitch
gets
Please
an opening.
coming up behind.
Lightning the Queen with a big hit on Bitch Please. Kituation now trying to clear space, just kind of trying to road grade Lightning the Queen out of the way. And Bitch Please calls it off. Bitch Please picks up 3 points for the Brutal Beauties.
And on the jammer line, we've got Evil Twin again for the Beauties.
That's going to be Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Runaway Brides. And Evil Twin, yeah.
Very
Excellent.
little work of that pack.
Excellent work by Evil Twin to get clear very quickly for the Brutal Beauties, and they're once again lead jammer, third time in a row. Sandra Slay O'Connor pinned in at the back, pinned in the back straightaway is what I was trying to say. Meanwhile, here comes Evil Twin for a scoring pass. And Evil Twin finishes a scoring pass, gets on through the pack.
Sandy's still looking to get past that Mimi Mahler wall there.
And now Sandy looking to play some jammer defense. Going to try to draw a bead, but ends up going over the top. And now Sandy's going to take off. Try to cap this at one more scoring pass. And Evil Twin.
That was some nice help from the Bride teammates there to get Sandy out of the pack.
Evil Twin calls it off at the back of the pack. So once again, wait for the score to roll in. It'll be about 5 minutes to go until halftime once this next jam starts.
And it looks like we got a new jammer on the line for the Brides. Looks like we got Lightning McQueen there.
That's right. Captain on Captain Jam. Oh, captains, my captains. That's Lightning the Queen and Skeletori for the Brutal Beauties. Right, Lightning to the inside, weaving up high and now angling down again, trying to find an opening, but gets blocked off by that tripod of blockers for the Brutal Beauties. Meanwhile, there is, at the back of the pack, trying to fight through at the front. I was going to say, I have lost track of the star for the Brutal Beauties, so that's in there somewhere. And trying to stay on, but the blocker came off, but by the time Tori got back up on her skates with the star in her hand, The packet passed her by, but still gets by around the outside. 24 seconds left in this jam, and Skeletori for the 4th jam in a row. Skeletori is your lead jammer. For the Brutal Beauties, Lightning's out as well.
Nice job defensively for both teams because it took a minute for those jammers to get out.
Skeletori trying to get a point or two at the back of the pack. That defensive wall was shaping up to be rather four. Checking in on there. It's a 1 point for the Brutal Beauties. So we'll have a timeout with 4:05 to go in the second quarter. It is going to be a team timeout. Nope, it's official timeout. It's an official timeout. So OTO, 4:05 to go until halftime. Right now, it's 93-45. Runaway Brides in front.
All right, so let's talk about one of our sponsors, Siphon Draw Apothecary. All natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skincare products made by our very own Dali de los Muertos. Visit siphondraw.com for their incredible products.
Dolly, member of our regulator team. Dolly not here tonight. I was going to say checking the roster. Not here with us this evening, but several people here also work for Siphon Draw. Murder Mittens, and we've got a couple of our Lucifer also does. I was actually out there a couple weeks ago, so went out to Goldfield Ghost Town. So, yeah, real pretty. Meanwhile, also, you know, another one of our sponsors that we've got is Tucci's Touch. Tucci is not here tonight, but they are often here, and they offer deep tissue trigger point therapy, massage, and much, much more. When they are here, stop on by the booth for a free 10-minute chair massage and enter to win a 30-minute in-home massage. Stop by the raffle table. Occasionally, Tucci might have some certificates and materials down there as well, but ask for more information. Also, look them up on the internet. Tucci's Touch, just like Stanley Tucci, Tucci, Tucci's Touch is how you look it up.
And just in time, we're back.
We're going to get back into it, and after the official timeout, it is going to be another power jam for the Runaway Brides. It's going to be Hollywood once again at the jammer line for the Brides.
Hollywood looking to bust through some pink there.
Unlike the last time, this time there are 4 blockers out there for the Brutal Beauties and not just 2. And there is, with the good block on the front end, Mimi Mahler's out there again, your assigned pivot defender, and a huge block along the inside. Lost a couple of skaters down there. Meanwhile, Hollywood still not out. Hollywood trying to get those blockers pushed out of play and then is able to get by them because they were out of play. So 30 seconds off the power jam clock. Very effective defense this time by the Brutal Beauties, just as it was last time. But, you know, you add 2 more blockers, that definitely helps your chances.
Definitely cuts down the scoring opportunities for the Brides at this point.
We've got about 15 seconds left in this power jam, and Hollywood now runs up into the back of Joliet Jane, gets a couple of blockers, and weaves past JJ, who's out of play. 6 seconds left in the power jam, and now they're trying to get down to the inside, and the 3 blockers for the Beauties get together at the front, so the clock, Hollywood called it off. I was counting the number of whistles. Started to say the clock expired, but there was only 1 4 whistle. That means Hollywood called it off. I'm married to a regulator. I know things. Meanwhile, there's going to be a team timeout for the Runaway Brides, so maybe take a second to catch their breath after that power jam. Ends up being a 5-point power jam, so I would say a defensive victory for the Brutal Beauties there. Right now it's 98-45 with the Brides in front with 2:55 to go until halftime. Derby fans, don't forget about those raffle tickets. Let's get a wave. Who's got raffle tickets out there? I'm not who holds them, but anybody is selling them. So maybe not out there at the moment, but we do have people coming around to sell those raffle tickets. Don't forget those tickets for the prize bags. You buy the raffle tickets, drop them in the bag of the prize that you were interested in winning. And that's all down there outside of turn number 2. You can definitely get tickets down there as well. So the raffle tickets are $1 a piece, or they are 6 for $5. So buy 5, get 1 free. The cash raffle at the end of the night, 50% goes to the winner, 50% goes to support the minor assaults. Those are 1 for $5 and 3 for $10. So buy 2, get 1 free. What a bargain. That's the raffle prizes and the raffle cash prize.
And we're back with Dolly Spartan for the Brides, who's already out. Didn't even give me a chance. And Slappy Go Lucky, both of them are out of the pack already. So this is a nice little jammer race we got going on.
That's right. Now Slappy Go Lucky keeping pace with Dolly Spartan, who goes to the inside, and Dolly calls it off before Mimi Mahler could block her to the infield. Double checking. I was going to say no points for either side. All right. Excellent defense strategy there at the back of the. Meanwhile, this is going to be Bitch Please for the Brittle Beauties, and that is Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Brides, and Bitch Please is out for the Beauties. Quickly in the turn, long as it took me to introduce the jammers. Now
Bitch Please coming around while Sandy's still stuck in the pack there. Making a good effort to push through some pink.
And they're running along the inside. There goes Bitch Please. Finishing off a first scoring pass and try to come around for a second. Meanwhile, Sandy is looking for an opening, kind of looking high and low, and is going to get pinned in behind that four wall of Beauties blockers.
That's a lot of blockers to get through.
That really is. Along the inside, Bitch Please gets bumped off the track. Excellent effort there at the back of the pack by that skater wearing a Valkyrie's helmet, Remy Ruckus.
Bitch Please is still looking to get some points there, but gets pushed out onto the infield.
Good block by Alan Ialichia to clear the track. Check on the score from the infield with 1 second. Official timeout. All right, official timeout comes to a close. Kind of have to sit up here and be quiet while they're discussing the score. That was your jam ref, Jason Voorhees, and your eye in the sky, Freya Hugs. And those sets of eyes have to agree on the points, and they do. They actually came up with this. They were just actually double-checking. They both thought 8, and it was 8, so they were just making sure, as it was a confusing end of the jam from what I heard. Meanwhile, so 8 points for the Beauties. So 98-53, Brides maintaining their lead. Beauties are trying to keep it close. I would say that was probably about what the lead was at the end of the first quarter. It was about 67 to 20-ish. I want to say,
it's definitely consistent. I would say.
So yeah, the Beauties have kept pace this quarter. The lead has not stretched.
Absolutely.
So the Brides have made hay. If you're just joining us for the bout, where the heck were you? If you're just joining us for the bout, the Brides have had 3 15-point power jams and a couple other high-scoring jams as well. Outside of which has been a fairly closely fought bout, but of course, that also is part of winning a game, is goading the other team into penalties. So we are ready to get back to the action with 44 seconds until halftime. That's Dolly Spartan one more time for the Runaway Brides.
And Evil Twin for the Beauties.
And Dolly down to the inside, now up to the high, and I see her pop out again on the low.
Twin making a real big dash
goes,
for it there.
There goes Twin. Once again, the Beauties get out and clear. Sherrills tries to get there and close the door, but not able to, so Dolly gets out as well for the Runaway Brides. It's a bit of a jammer race. Dolly's gaining ground quick, so Twin really had to throw some elbows into it. Dolly's got the hammer down. Look out. Here comes Evil Twin just desperately trying to catch the pack, and it's not going to do it. Runaway Brides were able to unite their point people at the front of the pack. And an excellent pursuit by Dolly. Big cheer from the crowd as Dolly Spartan comes on by. So no points for either side, and we've got time for one final jam before halftime as the quarter clock has now expired.
And it looks like it's going to be Holly Hood for the Brides.
That's Skeletori for the Brittle Beauties. We're underway with our last jam before halftime. Big collision at the back of the pack, but that's why they build knee pads real strong. Meanwhile, there goes Holly Hood for the Runaway Brides. Trying to get clear. Skeletori. Skeletori is able to get by. Gets knocked down, but knocks the blocker down as well. And really got Novocaine spun around, which again, Novocaine, hard to get Novocaine off balance as a blocker. So, wow. Excellent work on the back straightaway by Skeletori. So that'll do it for the first half. It's a 4-point jam for the Runaway Brides, and Runaway Brides breach over 100 for the bout as we head into halftime. Your score as we take a 15-minute approximately halftime break is 102-53. Runaway Brides are in front. We'll be bringing you halftime entertainment here. All right, Derby fans, we are ready to go. I got the teams poised and ready to get back out there at the sound of the whistle from GGR Game Executioner. Just waiting for the signal from Lollipop, and once we know we're good, we will get started. Your score right now, as we said going into halftime, Runaway Brides 102, Brutal Beauties 53. This is the 2024 playoff semifinals, so the two winning teams tonight will come back at our next bout, the final bout of our season. And that'll be in 3 weeks as well. And we'll compete for the title. So, will it be the Brides? Will it be the Beauties? Here we go with Dolly Spartan on the jammer line for the Brides.
And Skeletori for the Beauties.
Tori's to the front and now finds an opening, and Tori's out, a lead jammer for the Beauties.
Dolly got pushed out onto the infield there, looking to make a break as Skeletori's coming around, looking for some more points for the Beauties.
Now Tori to the inside, up to the high side, and just tries to blast through the wall. Kind of runs up into the rail, and now has got Kitch up there trying to block Lightning. Meanwhile, Dolly gets clear, unstashes the star, heading down the front straightaway. Skeletori blocked off by Lightning the Queen, and Tori calls it off with Dolly Spartan coming in rapidly from behind. So 5 points to open the scoring here in the third quarter, and the Beauties, I did it, there it is. Check it off your bingo card, I said Beauties. Meanwhile, that's not actually on your bingo card, don't look for it. That's just a personal bingo card.
We just really like to call them that. It's fun.
Meanwhile, seriously though, the Beauties had gone on like a pretty good, I want to say like a 30-8 run to close out. They put a lot of points on the board and held the Brides scoreless for several jams. Meanwhile, Holly Hood says, let me try to put a stop to that. Coasts along the inside and gets out. Meanwhile, Evil Twin gets those Blackers pushed out of play. So Evil Twin's out as well for the Brutal Beauties. Holly Hood quickly to the inside, gets by a sliding Shirls and calls it off. 4 points for the Brides. And we have Dolly Spartan again for the Runaway Brides.
And Bitch Please for the Beauties. So here's what I want to know. Are there any playoff traditions in Derby? I know in other sports there are.
Yeah, well, there's playoff beards in hockey, but that's less functional in Derby. Because I've got one, and, you know. Anyway, no. Playoff traditions, not that I'm aware of, but honestly, you could check with Jaeger. This is Jaeger's first playoffs, but I'm sure Jaeger can get you the inside juice. So
this is very true.
This is very true. But yeah, honestly, I've never been a skater, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm
if any
just an
skaters
observer.
are out there not skating right now and you want to come up and talk to me and tell me about some playoff traditions, I would love to hear them.
Yeah, we would love to fill the crowd in on anything that like teams might do for playoff, like superstition, luck, things like that. Like playoff beards. You know how hockey players, I don't know if you know about playoff beards, but in hockey, players don't, I know you know, you're a hockey fan, but yeah, players don't shave. And so basically by the end of the playoffs, you got some 20-year-old kid who just graduated from Moose University who's got like 5 patches of hair on his cheeks winning the Stanley Cup.
Absolutely.
So.
And also in the case of Jaeger, I'm so going to call them out right now. They didn't wash their jersey or their socks.
Oh, there you go.
If they were on a good run, so there you go. So
all right, fantastic.
I don't know if stink is part of Derby playoffs, but
I think stink is part of Derby anyway, so it's just part of everything regardless. Meanwhile, there goes Sandra Slay O'Connor.
And Evil Twin is looking to get out for the Beauties in the pack there. I digress on that little rant.
We got Al wearing the pivot stripe, and Al is blocking with the help of Holly Hood, who's out there even though not jamming. Twins trying to cling with their toe blocks, trying to cling to the coping. Now goes to the high side, still not able to get through. Holly Hood, Al annihilates you, doing work. Evil Twin refuses to be knocked off the track, though. And now that time, and there goes Twin. Twin takes off. Holly Hood came off. They turned around, looked at each other for 1 second, and then Twin smiled and turned around and took off. Suki can verify. That was amazing. They both went, oh no! And then Twin took off before Hood could react.
With a big grin.
Yes. It ends up being academic. Twin was not able to get back to the pack. So we will check now on Holly Hood's score.
Although sometimes I mistake a grin for a grimace with those mouth guards showing through.
Also true. So, ended up being 2 points for the Runaway Brides, but we...
Uh-oh.
What are we looking at here? All right, we've got a power jam for the Runaway Brides. It is going to be Dolly Spartan once again for the Brides on the jammer line. Runaway Brides only have 2 blockers, though. So the Brides are missing 2 blockers.
And there's 4 beauties out there,
Yeah, the
one of which
beauties.
is Mimi Mahler. Who else we got out there?
There's Joliet Jane, Skeletori, and Kitchuation is who we got out there. And they have dumped a skater down to the track. Skeletori just folds up and does a ladybug and waits for everybody to get by. They do. And now
Beauties
Tori,
are regrouping, though.
that defensive wall at the back there. Now we got Al coming in trying to create a little turbulence and move some people out of the way. Meanwhile, there's 25 seconds left in this power jam. It feels like it's been going on for 3 minutes. Who snuck a flat track jam in on us? Around to the outside, Tori now looking to get back in the front of the pack. Dolly Spartan had briefly taken off the star and was going to try to pass it forward, but still not able to get clear. And we are at that point of a power jam where nobody can call it off because we've never had a lead jammer, and that means it's a defensive stand for the Brutal Beauties. Clock expires on a 0-point power jam.
Yeah, let's hear it, Beauties fans. That
That's
was a
right.
great defense.
They've really found their defensive mojo. The last couple of power jams have been 5 and 0. So that is definitely, that's an average of 2.5 points per power jam. I got an F in calculus my junior year. Meanwhile, it's a true story. I took an ideological stance against the teacher's homework policy. Oh, I was the worst high school student. Oh, I was the worst. I was smarter than every teacher, trust me. Yeah. Oh, no, I was terrible. Meanwhile,
you can do derby math.
Look at that. No, I'm sitting up here making jokes. Meanwhile, it's a power jam for the Beauties.
Yes, let's hear it, Beauties fans.
That's right. I was checking the score there, no points, and we've got Bitch Please out there for the Brutal Beauties. So now it's the Runaway Bride's turn to try to do some defensive artistry. We're 20 seconds into it so far.
Bitch Please gets knocked off, but back on the track, looking to make it through. Gets knocked off again by, looks like Lightning McQueen.
It looks like this time you got Novocaine and Lightning out there for the Brides. And then Hollywood stays on the track. So here comes Bitch Please now to do battle with that 3-wall at the front of the pack once again. They're trying to goad up Al Annihilate you here at the back of the pack so that those front blockers are out of play. And then they vacate that strategy. So now we've still, with 10 seconds left, still trying to get clear as Bitch Please. Gets up and takes off and gets bumped off again by Al. So that
Defense is so
is
strong.
once again going to be a defensive stand for the Runaway Brides. That's 2 solid minutes of derby action and no points. Defensive
almost never
efforts,
happens.
yeah, extraordinaire with the defensive efforts there. We got an official timeout signaled by Gigi down on the track, so we'll take a break from the action momentarily. Your score right now, Runaway Brides 110, Brutal Beauties 58 with 8:22 to go in the third quarter.
And we want to say hello to all the Twitch fans that are out there. If you can't make it to About in person, we've got a live stream for you to watch from home. Visit Twitch channel or Facebook page to learn more. Shout out to our subscribers and all the fans that are watching right now. Thanks for supporting our league from home.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I like to mention when we have a moment about the Twitch stream, which is one, follows are free. So if you are a Twitch user, have an account, follow the Derby Dames. Helps boost our visibility in the algorithm, brings new eyes to us. Second thing is, if you're a Prime subscriber, you get a free Twitch subscription. You get one, you don't pay anything for it. You have one to use it on the Derby Dames. Hey, you know what? It's one subscription, but again, everything boosts, everything gets eyes, and it's a $3 and change in the league's pocket as a Twitch. I believe I forget the exact term. Freya's the one that watches all the live streams. Regardless, though, yeah, no, that's 2 things. You can use your Prime subscription to support the Derby Dames. That definitely helps boost the league, and then follows are free, as I mentioned. Meanwhile, one of our neighbors here is Arizona Story Cannabis. So Story, Arizona is right next door. They are busy today because it is the 20th of April. My goodness, we drove by there and they had a line out the door. So they must have made a big, hot, fresh batch of cookies or something. Meanwhile, they are parked over there, and we appreciate them sponsoring us. They let us use their big parking lot, which is huge because here at the Derby Dames, there's just not a lot of parking in our complex. So they let us use their big gravel parking lot, even tonight. That's how big it is. They got a 420 crowd at the dispensary, and there's still plenty of parking for our fans. So we appreciate them greatly. We encourage you to stop by there, pick up some treats. They're open till 10. Pick up some things that you then legally enjoy in your own premises once you get home safely from our bout. And they pop over sometimes, and they'll give us little tokens to give away. So if you see a couple people coming in throwing little like wooden nickels around, that's a free giveaway you can take over to Story tonight and cash it in. So again,
We like supporting our neighbors here. There are a few businesses here in the complex, but not many of them that are open this late. So we always like to let people know that Story is open till 10 as well. Good friends of ours, and you can support them if you so choose. We are ready to get back to the action. So we get back to it. It's going to be a power jam once again for the Runaway Brides. Brides up there to do another power jam, and it's going to be Hollywood. So Hollywood trying to get clear, looking for an opening. You got a 2-wall up in the front. Now you got one of the blockers for the Brides trying to clear some space. Hood still trying to look clear, and then gets a hip from JJ. Nice turn of the hip from JJ to push Hollywood off to the infield. And JJ gets Hood on the infield, but comes off herself. So now Hood's up to the front level of blockers for the Beauties. And they're not able to goad the pack apart. So Hood now trying to find an opening once again. Is stuck in behind Mimi Mahler and once again Joliet Jane. Situation at the front of the pack along with Mimi Mahler. This seems to pretty much be the designated penalty kill squad for the Brutal Beauties. Hood off to the infield one more time, and that's going to do it. We once again are going to watch the last seconds of this clock expire. It's a defensive stand again for the Brutal Beauties.
I don't think I've seen so many power jams.
I am,
Come out
yeah.
with nothing on the end.
So we just sprung right back to a power jam, and that is a long time in either a banked or flat track bout to go with no scoring. That is crazy. Excellent defensive effort by both. Not for lack of trying. Yeah, so we have Evil Twin now for the Brutal Beauties. 7 minutes exactly to go in the third quarter.
And Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Brides. Both jammers kind of taking off like a shot there. It looks like we got a jammer race between, and as soon as I said it, it got called off.
Yeah, Sandy came out slightly in front, and the bench said right there, the far bench, said call it, and Sandy did. Evil Twin had just stuck a skate ahead on the inside and was probably going to take that away. So again, no points. Once again, fourth jam in a row with no scoring. So let's go for the 5 golden rings. We'll see. It's going to be Dolly Spartan for the Brides, Skeletori for the Brutal Beauties.
Dolly going to the high there, hoping to get past, kind of weaving down a little bit in and out with the jammers here. Little
Dolly's
shuffling towards the pack there.
clinging to the inside coping there and doesn't come off, but wasn't able to get position in front of the blockers. Big collision at the back, middle of the pack. Still no jammers out. Collision. Honey trap down.
Wow, that was a big
Honey
collision.
trap down. Skeletori had to go over Honey trap, leapfrogged her. Meanwhile, a huge hit down on the inside by Lightning the Queen, and both jammers are out. So Skeletori is going to call it off. All that, and again,
No
fifth straight
score.
jam, no points. Yeah, check off 5 straight jams with no scoring on your bingo card. Oh, don't. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Write it in. Write it in as an entry.
This is a thing. This has become a thing. That is a team timeout by the Brutal Beauties, so they're possibly also going to talk about the statistical oddity of this situation.
Maybe that's a playoff tradition.
Yeah.
Go jam after jam with no scoring.
So right now both defenses are up to the task. We got 5:30 to go in the third quarter. The score, as it has been for the last 15 minutes of IRL, 110 to 58 Runaway Brides. You've got some of these skaters out here on these playoff teams. I know there will be more former minor assaults later on. I can think of All of You Die. There's a cheer down there. Rainbow Crash on the infield, a current minor assault. We wanted to let you know, I was going to mention Slappy Go Lucky out there, basically a starting jammer for one of the playoff teams, and it's Slappy Go Lucky's first season in the Adult League. So our minor assaults are obviously, you know, what it sounds like. It's our minor skating team. It's for skaters between the ages of 10 and 17. All you need are minor skating skills and a desire to learn. Our coaches, such as Novocaine and Al Annihilate, teach skating skills, but moreover teach life skills that'll serve you far beyond the confines of the Bank Track Roller Derby arena. If you or somebody you know is that simple criteria of 10 to 17 and looks like they might enjoy the heck out of this, be sure to ask any skater, any referee, or any me about details for the minor assaults.
And right now we're back to the action. We've got Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Brides and Evil Twin for the Beauties. Working their way through the pack there.
Evil Twin is going to get routed off to the infield again. The defense of the Brides up to it. Now with some help, that pivot, there is Slappy Go Lucky, trying to at least get in there and knock Novocaine out of it, and Evil Twin able to get the pack split. Evil Twin's out for the Beauties. So will we see points? Sandy gets blocked off again, and now Sandy's going to come up and start calling out blocking instructions. And there's Evil Twin up to the high side, just able to get past Sandy. Sandy couldn't quite hook an elbow around her. And Twin gets knocked off, slides, and has to wait. Wow, D&D's Nuts was able to just kind of skid to a stop on their knees and not go off the track. And so able to stay in play and made Evil Twin have to come way back to reestablish. And that completely changed the complexion of that scoring pass because Evil Twin had a full head of steam. So it ends up being all 5 points there for Evil Twin. Good scoring pass, no matter the way it was achieved, by golly. So 110-63, we've broken the stalemate on scoring. We've got Invader Slim for the Brides this time. Second time they've jammed for the Brides.
And we've got Skeletori for the Beauties once again.
Watching the pack head down into the corner. Rather tightly bunched pack now, and they're looking for an opening. Invader Slim to the front of the pack, and it's going to end up, tries to get by, Skater down. They're trying to get Slim clear, but I think that was their own blocker that ended up taking a tumble after colliding with the Kitchuation at the front of the pack. Meanwhile, as they wind through the turn and head down into the front stretch, we've got Skeletori gets clear. Skeletori's got 30 seconds on the jam clock to get back around. Invader Slim gets blocked off again at the back of the pack. Joliet Jane's been all over the track, too. Another defender that's just, every time I look around, there's JJ knocking somebody else off. There goes Skeletori. Scoring pass. Past the mural. Into the back stretch. And excellent block, as you often see from Lightning the Queen. 7 seconds left on the jam clock. Officially speaking, there's Invader Slim getting out of the pack for the Brides. Tori picks up 4 points on that scoring pass. So, Brito Beauties are still staying within touch. It still really hasn't gotten to where the lead has expanded at all, with be about 2:30 to go here in the third quarter when this jam starts.
And we've got Holly Hood on the line for the Brides, and we've got Slappy Go Lucky for the Beauties.
And Slappy finds an opening.
Yeah.
Wow, just a running start. Here comes Holly
Oh, but
Hood.
there's
Once again, we
Hood.
got another jammer race, and Slappy checks back over their shoulder and is going to try to get back to the pack. So now we got a jammer race. They're going to pour through the turn and up into the back straightaway, and Slappy has to call it off. Slappy taking great faith in the structural integrity of that catch rail and meeting it violently with their midsection, and comes to a stop, and no points for either side. Slappy was moving and just could not quite get in front of a blocker. So that was exciting, but no points. We're used to that. Meanwhile, Dolly Spartan on the jammer line for the Brides.
And Bitch Please for the Beauties. Looks like they're both going to go on the low there. Work their way through. Dolly's out first.
Dolly out. Now Bitch Please out as well. Try to keep this at one scoring attempt for Dolly. About the length of the front straightaway behind. So now on the pursuit, Dolly catches up to the pack, gets around the first blocker and calls it off. There's 1 point for the Brides. I feel like the Brides may have gone 6 to 7 minutes of game time between scoring points. That was such a long time.
That was a long
Yeah,
time.
that was really, so 1 point on the board for the Brides. Yeah, just that the defense really, really, really tightened up here in the third quarter, both sides.
Very strong.
Very strong. So another official timeout. Right now, it looks like we're looking at a track issue, so we'll get that worked on. Ash Smasham out there helping the regulators, and now somebody from the outside of the track peeking in. There we are, yeah. There, we found it. Yeah, water on the track. Bad thing.
That is a very bad thing.
Bad thing.
Wheels
So
and water don't mix.
we'll get that tidied up really quick. Meanwhile, 1:17 to go in the third quarter. And Brides in front, 111 to 67. Bender B. Rodriguez is done sanding the floor, and now he's going to paint a fence. I would say only need one person, to get it. All right, OTO continues. Looks like we're going to go. We got Pretty Hurt Machine out there is now going to take a run off the infield. There we go. We're ready to go. Hurt was out there just tending to the track issue. So here we are once again. We have Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties.
And Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Brides. Oh, a couple bodies go down as the jammers are trying to get through there. Evil Twin pushing through as they got off the infield back on the track. Looks like they're going up against Remy Ruckus and possibly Al. That's Al. Sandy's out of the pack.
Sandy and
Evil
Twin
Twin
is
is
able.
as well.
Wow, look at that. Twin just kind of Remy Ruckus with an excellent trying to push Twin off, and Twin just kind of jumped over the butt. So now here comes Sandy up into the pack, is going to call it off just before Mimi Mahler knocks them off the track. All right, 2 points for the Runaway Brides. One more jam in the third quarter before we take our final quarter break of this first bout. Unsurprisingly, we've got Dolly Spartan for the Runaway Brides.
Equally surprising, we have Skeletori for the Beauties.
Continue going with the hot hands. Why not?
You got to go what works for you.
Watching Tori to the front of the pack, and Tori was able to get by and kind of duck to the inside of that last blocker for the Brides, and Tori's out and clear. Lead jammer for the Brutal Beauties.
Dolly's out as well after coming over on the high. Skeletori's going to try to pick up some points here before Dolly makes it to the pack, it looks like.
Tori now is just going to try to get up there and just tries to shove the hips in front of a couple of skaters and calls it off, with Dolly Spartan coming on the pursuit. Tori gets 2 points for her trouble, and that will take us up to the end of the third quarter. And we'll step aside for another 5-minute break. Your score right now, Runaway Brides 113, Brutal Beauties 69. We are 15 minutes from having our first championship contender. This is the 2024 playoffs for the Arizona Derby Dames. Looks like we're just about ready to get back to the action. We are just about ready to get back to the action. So 15 minutes to go here in the first bout of the evening. Runaway Brides 113, Brutal Beauties 69.
So this is the last quarter to determine who's going to make it to the championship. So
All right.
how about a little audience participation? Let's hear it for the teams.
I did just hear some cheers for Slappy Go Lucky, your Brutal Beauties jammer.
There we go. Thank you.
And you got Dolly Spartan for the Runaway Brides. We're underway. Dolly's trying to push by along the rail. That's Mimi Mahler up there, I see. And then there's a block. Then Lightning gets a block. And now Mimi, Mimi
that
dodges
was a big
Lightning
hit.
and delivers Dolly to the infield like
Slappy's
an
coming
unwanted
along the
Uber.
high there, but meeting up with Lightning McQueen. So getting bumped off into the infield
And there
as
goes
well.
Dolly around the outside. Dolly able to get clear after all that. So with 30 seconds to go on the jam clock, Dolly's your lead jammer for the Runaway Brides. Slappy now is going to try to weave past the blockers at the front of the pack, but cannot do it. Gets pinned into the rail there. I see Al annihilate you. Now still trying to tiptoe by along the inside, and Lightning says, you will not. There goes Dolly Spartan finishing a scoring pass.
Slappy's in the middle of the pack there trying to get out, trying to find an opening there, which is extremely difficult considering you've got 3 brides that are hanging out.
And there we are with a partial scoring pass at the end. We'll have to check and see what kind of points Dolly Spartan was able to pick up there. That's going to be an offensive output there for the Runaway Brides. 7 points for the Brides. And a power jam for the Brides. It's Hollywood once again on the line for the power jam.
Hollywood's been their designated power jam jammer.
Runaway Brides are down 1 blocker as well. 2 blockers. Runaway Brides are now at a severe disadvantage in the pack.
Well, Beauties are down to 2 blockers.
Yeah, the Beauty side. I think I said Brides and I got it backwards. I've been doing that all night long and I don't know why. Meanwhile, as I'm trying to unmess up my introduction, there goes Hollywood. Already clear for the Brides. So yeah, now they're going to split the pack and Hood along the inside, easily out and clear. There was a power jam where they only had the 2 blockers out there, but they were only dealing with 3 Brides blockers. And so this 4th blocker seems to be absolutely key to keeping them separate. Hollywood quickly around the outside and is able to get past the situation here right in front of us in the announcer's nest. There's 22 seconds left in this power jam. Closing in now, Bitch Please is held up to the high side, and Hollywood racing past along the inside to finish off another scoring pass. 12 seconds left in the power jam.
And Holly's coming back for another scoring pass here.
Around the
The
high
Beauties
side.
are just a little tied up with those Brides blockers back there, who are doing a good job at defense.
All right, we will check on the score from the infield. It's double headlights from the infield. Runaway Brides are going to hang 20 points on the board in the power jam. Excellent balance in their favor of strength in that jam, and that's kind of the one they've been looking for, I think.
Absolutely. After
And
so many jams with no
they
score.
really have, yeah. They really have broken loose here in the last couple of jams. The
Yeah.
Brides with an absolute fury is trying to close out this bout as best they can. A little while to go yet. A little while to go. 12:21 to go here until the end of regulation.
Nobody's been bringing up raffle tickets. That's not normal, is it? Don't they normally bring up raffle?
Don't forget those raffle tickets, everybody. They're coming around with the raffle tickets. Those prize raffle tickets are $1 a piece or 6 for $5. And then your cash raffle tickets are $5 each, 3 for $10. So make sure to get those prize bags down there for the raffle tickets. You put your ticket and the prize you would like to win, and then we'll draw those over the course of the evening going forward.
And we've got Dolly Spartan for the Brides and Evil Twin for the Beauties. A little bit of a slow strategic start there. Pack very tight. They're trying to weasel their way through. Evil Twins at the high. Dolly got bumped off on the infield, but's back on the track, looking to make a hole there. And they do. Dolly Spartan coming around. Looks like Evil Twins getting bumped off into the infield, looking to make their way out of the pack while Dolly's coming around to score.
Dolly runs in at the back of the pack, runs into Venus Vendetta, who does a very good job of pinning in her teammate on the scrappers, Dolly Spartan, who now gets through and finishes off that scoring pass. Looks like they're still trying to get Evil Twin clear here at the back of the pack, and they've got Twin pinned in very firmly at the back of the pack, and now Venus Vendetta tries to shove Evil Twin in the way and just misses Dolly Spartan, and the clock expires on the jam. We have a timeout of some variety. We'll find out what flavor. It's an official timeout. So regulators are going to talk over some of the penalty action. We'll be back in just a moment to the action. 1:40. 1 second. Not yet. Score is not up yet. We'll hold that score update. 9 points for the Runaway Brides. 149 to 69. Runaway Brides are in front with 11:14 to go in regulation. Don't forget, during intermission, a great chance to visit our food truck for the evening, Detroit's Original Coney Truck. They've got conies. I know they got chili cheese fries. I imagine they've got a whole menu. I've not been out there myself. We've been kind of busy in here. I usually go out and check out the food truck during halftime, but I was watching the freaking halftime show, right? My goodness. A round of applause one more time for Maryvale High School for coming out, their advanced dancers, right? Thank you. No, yeah, I honestly do. Honestly, I'm not even making that up. I usually go out and I check out their menu at halftime so I can tell people what to get in intermission. Sat in here watching the dancing. So, to be quite frank, go outside. I'm sure the food is tasty. I was watching the halftime show.
And they'll be here longer than the dancers
They will.
were.
I will go outside and take a look, and I'll let everybody know before halftime of the last bout. But they've been here before. Detroit's Original Coney is fantastic. We got Sandra Slay O'Connor at the jammer line for the Runaway Brides.
And Skeletori for the Beauties. And we got some tumbling on the infield here.
We got 4 skaters down at once.
Oh,
3 of
couple
them were
more.
Brutal
Here we
Beauties.
go.
Now a couple more. A lot of physicality. Skeletori is at the front of the pack, but there's a very stout 3 wall. Now the pivot tries to kind of break it up, trying to run through, and ends up getting knocked down. Now
That was enough for Skeletori to get out.
Yeah, that was Gnarly Quinn that was in there trying to help out, wearing the pivot stripe for the Brutal Beauties. So now there we at the front of the pack, Sandy gets out. A couple of skaters ran into each other, and they both ended up falling there at the back of the pack. Maximum overdrive down to the front straightaway. We'll have a stoppage in play. There we are. Maximum overdrive is up and back to the bench under their own power. Good to see, good to see. Sat down, looked like they had to adjust a knee strap, and then took a few minutes to kind of get situated and then help back to the bench. But visited by one of our medics just to check off the boxes, and everybody's smiling, and Max is guzzling water. So Max is, maybe has a jimmied knee, but most definitely is hydrated. That was quite a slug. Helmet off, though, so I'm going to say that is it for Max for the night. Of course, Bank Track Roller Derby, you get ejected at 7 penalties, so you'll start seeing attrition beginning to occur somewhat as the bout goes on. Don't look now, but we got ourselves a Brutal Beauties Power Jam after that
we
official
do.
timeout. And that's going to be Slappy Go Lucky on the
Let's hear it,
jammer
Beauties
line.
fans. We got a
That's
Power
right.
Jam. Yeah.
We are up onto the track. There goes Slappy. Wanted to address that there was 1 point for the Beauties in that last jam before the injury
Oh, there goes
timeout. So it's
Slappy.
149.70. Slappy does get out, as Suki is mentioning.
Let's see
So-
if they can go ahead and get some score here, get some
32
points.
seconds. Oh, big block up into the rail. Lightning the Queen just about went 3 for 3 on clobbering people out of the track.
Yeah, Sloppy did take that in stride, though, and just kept on going. But we got that bride's wall back there, which is going to be a little bit formidable.
Indeed, Slappy is now trying to get by the rail. That door closes.
Looking for their teammates to give them a little help there, make a hole for them to get through.
And that's going to do it. The clock's going to expire. We once again have a 0-point power jam. Once again, another excellent defensive stand by the Runaway Brides. There is no question. You don't surrender a point in a power jam, you're doing defense right.
Absolutely. The
yeah.
defense tonight in general has just been fantastic.
Yeah, overall really has. You know, the Brides have scored in fits, bunches when they've had power jams, for example.
Yes.
But yeah, other than that, it really has just been a grind them out 3 and 4 point jam kind of bout. Invader Slim at the jammer line for the Brides here.
And Scalatori for the Beauties.
Slim got bumped off to the infield quick. Tori kind of followed in the wake and is now at the front of the pack. And could not quite get
So
clear.
close,
So
yeah.
close, but an excellent block right down along the inside there by Al Annihilatia. Meanwhile, Lightning the Queen trying to get in the way. There goes Invader Slim out and clear for the Runaway Brides.
Scalatori Till's trying to make their way through the pack. See if they can bump off some of the Brides. They did bump off one onto the infield there.
There's a big collision at the front of the pack, and then I believe that was Astrothought, kind of had to let a skater slide by underneath them. So there's 13 seconds left in this jam. Slim on a scoring pass, bumped off to the infield. Has to reestablish all the way behind Joliet Jane. That is 2 tall skaters at the back of the pack. Invader Slim and Joliet Jane, yeah. I was gonna
Yes.
say, I got a good view of them. Astrothought, also quite tall. Just, one of those things. It's just like, I just realized it was Slim and JJ, and I was like, that is 2 very tall,
Absolutely.
very tall skaters. Yeah, as I look down at Mads Incognito before the next bout. Speaking of tall skaters.
Right.
Meanwhile, 1 point for the Brides there, so the Brides hit 150 squarely on the nose. We're going to have Evil Twin for the Brutal Beauties.
And Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Brides.
Sandy almost clear. Venus Vendetta had clipped her onto the infield, and then Shirley Temple of Doom finished off the block. Evil Twin up to the high side, and I was trying to duck past that pivot, and Al comes off the track slightly, so that's going to give Evil Twin an opportunity to run past and take lead jam. So looking back in the pack now, and Sandy's got 1 blocker to get by, but Mimi Mahler up to the task.
Twins trying to get through for a full scoring pass here. Oh! Makes the jump, gets out.
Yeah, I was going to say made the jump, landed on the knee, but stayed on the track.
Absolutely.
There you go. It counts.
Twin getting bumped around by some Brides back there, but it looks like it's all fun. There's some smiling going on.
Yeah, Twin runs into a 3-wall at the front. Yeah, when you jump, you don't have to make a perfect landing. You just have to land.
Absolutely. And if you
Yeah.
land on the track, all the better.
That's what yeah, exactly. Well, I meant when I said you have to land after jumping, I also meant on the track. Gravity takes care of, the other times.
Right.
I like
well,
how
you
I
don't
like-
want to land on the infield for a
I like
couple
how you-
different
I was
reasons.
like, yeah, when you jump, it's important to land. Right, and on the track. Like, it is
well, you
important.
don't want to do it on the infield because that's tough on your knees. That's concrete.
That's also true. No, as I've said before.
And you also have to wait to get back into play. So
This is Dolly Spartan for the Brides. That's Skeletori for the Brutal Beauties. Beauties had to put another handful of points on the board there in that jam. And the pack just kind of slowly heading down into the corner. Both jammers are still at the back of it. Now Tori quickly to the front, got right through there, but runs into Lightning the Queen. And Dolly Spartan along the inside is clear.
oh, Dolly and Scalatori are out. Looks like we have a little mini jammer race right here. Both fast skaters. I think Dolly's going to try to collect a couple points here before maybe we'll see.
Dolly gets on through, calls it off. Mentioned that Maximum Overdrive is back out there for that jam, so back up off the bench. No worse for the wear. It's always good to see. And didn't foul out. Max just took the helmet off to cool off. So there you go. Meanwhile, we've got Slappy Go Lucky once again for the Brutal Beauties at the jam
And
line.
Holly Hood for the Brides.
5 minutes to go in regulation. That was another 4 for the Brides in that jam.
Oh, both jammers get bumped off onto the infield. Slappy's back up on the track, though. Looks like
Venus
Holly Hood's
Vendetta. Wow, Venus
working
with
to
a
get up there
great-
as well.
Got the shoulder down low and got Holly Hood knocked off the track. Venus, of course, one of our fiercer defenders in the league, let alone on the Schoolyard Scrappers. Meanwhile, Slappy Go Lucky, another Schoolyard Scrapper.
Holly
Gets-
Hood's still stuck at the back there with a couple of beauties.
And now
But
gets,
gets
out as
out.
well. There you go. So now Slappy up to the high side, trying to just get the hips in front of those skaters. Gets knocked over. Has to get up, still wants that point, and is going to call it off just in time with Holly Hood coming in on the late pursuit. So excellent to see there. So 4 points for the Brutal Beauties there. About 3:45 to go in regulation. We've got Skeletori once again for the Brutal Beauties and Dolly Spartan for the Runaway Brides. We got our first raffle prize up here, so we'll get to that momentarily. So we'll grab that before everybody kind of filters out for the end of the bout. Meanwhile, there's Dolly trying to get by on the front of the pack, and now has to go to the inside and manages to get clear. There you go. So Dolly's out and clear for the Runaway Brides. Meanwhile, Tori off the track with alacrity. Now trying to find an opening as Dolly comes in for a scoring pass.
Dolly's just slipping through there. I'm meeting a little bit of opposition there by one of the beauties, but eventually gets out of the pack. So
Tori now at the back of the pack and is going to look to settle in here and play jammer defense. Has the star stash. Now hands it forward, and there goes JJ. So JJ is going to get out and try to cap this to this last scoring pass for Dolly, who calls it off. So that's JJ's, for academic reasons, the first time JJ's worn the jammer star this evening. Officially. There you go. It's like having one at bat in Major League Baseball. JJ's now in the box score. Instead of just doing all those things that don't show up in the box score. How many times have you heard that?
Yeah, JJ just does things that really don't show up in the box score, Pete.
Meanwhile, back to the bout we go. It's going to be a power jam for the Brutal Beauties. Evil Twin at the jammer line, facing a solid 4-wall of blockers for the Brides, though. Excuse me, 3-wall. 4-wall. It is a 4-wall. There are 9 blockers out there. 8
yeah, they're
blockers.
facing it head on, though.
I'm going home. You announce the rest of the bout. There's 8 blockers out there. There's never 9 blockers
there's
on the
so
track.
many. There's
That's
so
the
many.
funny part. At no point is there ever 9 blockers on the track. Meanwhile, I'm really good at this job. Evil Twin is trying to get by at the front of the pack, and another excellent defensive effort by Remy Ruckus.
Yeah.
So at the front of the pack, looks like we got Novocaine, Lightning McQueen, Holly Hood, and Remy. Remy's going to get pinned in at the back, and now is going to fall victim to the goad. So Evil Twin just has to push that 3-wall out of play. That's all you got to do. 13 seconds left. Twin gets blocked off again. Now gets some help from Mimi. And Twin
Oh, we're slowing down a little bit.
slow it on down, and that'll do it for this jam.
All right, real quick here. Everybody get out your white raffle tickets because I've got a prize from Killjoy, which from what I understand has the most adorable items. This number is 495842. That's 495842. If you've got the white raffle ticket, go to the raffle table. Did anybody got it? Was that a yes?
I heard somebody yell, I think.
heard a
Yeah,
yell. Was that
heard
a
yell.
yes?
I
We
think
got
that was
it?
a yes. So, well, we'll hang on to the bag for a moment. We'll see down there. That's, once again, raffle tables outside of turn number 2. Basically, if you're looking at me, I'm staring at them. So if you're looking at me, you're looking in the wrong place. I could have just, I don't know. I'm bad at describing things, which, again, is a good quality for a roller derby announcer to have. It's for me to not just struggle to describe things. Yeah, well, they're skating.
They got 4 wheels.
That's right. Don't forget our next bout. You know all about it if you're here watching the playoffs, but our next bout is Saturday, May 11th. That's the league championship. We got 1 minute and 11 seconds. Nothing's official yet, but Runaway Brides are trying to close the door here. This is a team challenge. Brutal Beauties are challenging, it would appear. One would have to gamble it's going to be on their jammer, who is now sitting in the penalty box and idly twirling the jammer star. Or is that Mimi? No, that would be the pivot. Interesting.
no jammer penalty. So that always, usually a jammer penalty is your 9 times out of 10 power jam thing. So we'll have to see. They'll come up and let us know. The challenge hasn't even started yet. They were still just discussing the challenge. So now the challenge has started.
Now the real work
That's
begins.
right.
The huddle.
Hey, listen, as far as the regulators currently having a challenge, the regulators are always recruiting as well. So you're a Derby fan. This basically is how Freya Hugs started, was Freya and I would come to bouts, and I did some Sun Sounds radio for Sun Sounds of Arizona for a few years, and so people said, you do radio, and I said, that's not exactly radio. And also, Derby announcing is not radio. I don't understand. And they just shoved a microphone in my face and said, get to it. But Freya, when we came as fans, we were coming to bouts as fans, and then Freya joined the regulators and is now sitting behind me and having a fabulous time. Will be the game executioner in the next bout, so you'll get to hear them a lot. And they're even louder than me, and they don't need a microphone. Anyway, the regulators, no, they do not. No. You'll be able to hear them on my microphone. It's amazing.
And unlike Clifton,
That's right.
Freya does do a little dance every now and
That's
again.
right. Freya does dance. I am not the dancer. We will have an infield dance party. I'm getting off track, which I tend to do when I speak. And what I wanted to mention, though, is that the regulators are an all-gender team. Freya is all-gender or lack thereof, as I'm fond of saying, since that applies now, too, of course. That's right. So, what even is it? They're accepting of everybody, and obviously you don't even have to know how to skate or like skating. There are non-skating roles. They call them non-skating officials. What a descriptive name. And you can be out there assisting them on the infield or anything. You can help the league go and grow by being a regulator. If you think Derby looks cool, but running into people is just not your thing, and or you have a deathly fear of having wheels on your shoes, you can be a regulator and help keep the action on the track flowing properly. All right, we are back to it. 1:11 to go in regulation. The challenge was on a blocking penalty on Mimi Mahler. It was a blocking out of play, if I remember correctly, and Mimi Mahler still guilty of it, so the challenge unsuccessful. And Mimi Mahler will serve the penalty in this jam.
And we've got Invader Slim for the Brides and Scalatori for the Beauties as jammers this go around.
A big hit at the back of down under the end of the front straightaway, and that's why we say stay behind the yellow line. Look at that. There it is.
Yep,
That's
I
warnings
was
in
just
action.
going to mention that. You said
That's
that right at the
yeah,
beginning.
if you'd had your head sitting down there, you would have just gotten kicked in the head with roller skates. That hurts, probably. I've tried to not do it. I've tried to not let people kick me in the head with roller skates in my life. Meanwhile, Scalatori, no worse for the wearer, is now just going to get hit again. Meanwhile, Sandra Slay O'Connor, we're going to have to put catch nets in under the rail there. My goodness. That is Sandy. Sandy gets bumped down to the inside. Now Tori's playing defense because the star has apparently been handed forward. And yeah, there at the front of the pack, there's Gnarly Quinn trying to get clear and take over as jammer of record. Sandy finishes a scoring pass, and that'll do it for the jam. We'll have one more jam in regulation here, and then we'll find out about the possibility of penalty jams. Quarter clock has now expired.
I think that was Slim. Because Sandy's on now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I said that was Sandy. Thank you. I appreciate it. That was Invader Slim in the last jam. So, yeah, no, I apologize. Yeah. I just heard Suki talking Smackhouse's brain go offline. You ever heard somebody's brain make the modem dial-up sound? It was very confusing for Suki to look down and go, and it's Sandy, huh? Anyway, there is Sandra Slay O'Connor, as we mentioned, for the Runaway Brides. And to close things out, it's a power jam for the Brides. So,
It is.
power jam for the brides. One of the jammers for the Brutal Beauties picked up a penalty.
But it looks like Mimi wants to make this an unsuccessful one.
Runaway brides just trying to skate as clean as possible. Clock has expired. All right, we are going to...
Is that it? Is it over?
Well, we get 1 second. Everybody's checking. We're waiting to... We need Lumbre de la Luna is waiting to check in, so we'll make sure we get that covered. No problem. I got you. I got you. Yeah. There we are. Yep. He was on it. They were just talking about something. Meanwhile, you know it's the regulators. They're just trying to figure out where they're going to dinner. So, yeah, it just got real cold up here. I don't know why.
All right.
There it
that's
is with the final whistle. Their first competitor in the championship
Yes.
bout of 2024 is determined. Your final score, 168-87. It's the Runaway Brides.
Congratulations to the brides. An amazing job for the Beauties. Terrific season.
Brides coasting on in.
Come down to the track and get your
come on down.
high fives.
Come on down trackside. Now the Beauties are going to head on around as well. There we go. And yeah, let's hear it from all the fans in the arena. Let's hear it for the Brutal Beauties. Oh, season well done. Our 2, 3, and 4 teams in the playoffs, you could have thrown a blanket over them at our last bout. And so they were no just sneaked in kind of 4 seed in any way, shape, or form. They were in contention for the 2 seed on the last day of the season. So an excellent campaign by the Beauties. That's 2 straight years in the playoffs for the Brutal Beauties. So that's good to see since we resumed after COVID. So a team on the rise, a team on the build. A lot of new skaters with them as well. So excited to see them next year as well.
A job well done.
Yeah, job well done. All right, that brings us up to the end of the first bout. We're going to take a 30-minute break. Pop outside, enjoy Detroit's original Coney truck. Get yourself a snack at the snack bar. Get yourself some merch. Get yourself some raffle tickets.
I got to call out this raffle ticket
That's
again
right.
because we
I'll toss
still
it over
don't
to
have
Suki.
a winner. It is 495.